The home was floating in the ocean. Oceanfront living is not all it's cracked up to be. Theft is a thing. Cars getting broken into. I just think I have a decent BS meter, you know? All right, guys, on this video, we're gonna be talking about some of the things that other people aren't likely to tell you, things that you should know about Hawaii. Now, if you're local and you're watching this, let me know what else I should have said. Let me know what I'm missing. If you're from the mainland, let me know if you've heard it before, if you want to see more videos like this one. We feel that if we keep it real, keep it nuanced, and even point out some of the negatives, we can get you to more likely like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, come along in this real estate journey with Core Team Hawaii. All right, one of the things that people don't talk about enough, in my opinion, are the negative aspects of buying oceanfront. I get it. Everyone perceives Hawaii to be this place of surfers. Everyone lives on the beach. If you're coming from Kansas or Chicago or somewhere on the mainland, you know, you're more likely to highlight on the page the things that make Hawaii different. In a suburb in the middle of the island like Mililani, kind of inland Ewa Beach, Waikele, right near our outlet mall. Those things don't make Hawaii Hawaii to a lot of people, right? There's nothing unique that distinguishes that neighborhood from mainland USA. But this does, right? People want to come to Hawaii and buy the dream. Now, if your budget is 8 million and north, this video may not be for you because you probably have the ability for regular maintenance, for maid service. Maybe you even have maid quarters in the home. That's a different thing. Now, you're probably not getting oceanfront on this row for 8 million. It's going to be more, but still, for the people who are maybe in the $2 million range, who could go oceanfront in Ewa Beach or Waianae or on a different island, I just want to throw some cautions out to you. One, look at this wind. I hope you guys can hear this audio. It's consistently where the warm land meets the cool ocean. It's just consistently windier. The trade winds are great, but sometimes not when you're trying to sit outside and read a book and the book keeps floating. When your roof has more wind damage. When all of this ocean spray is spraying into your home, and so now your appliances, your KitchenAid, microwave and dishwasher and light fixtures, your ceiling fans, your electrical outside is more likely to rust. Increased moisture in a home means increased dust mites. Certain furniture doesn't last as long. Potentially more likely to have spalling in your concrete foundation. We've taken people to oceanfront homes here in Hawaii. We wipe the counter, salt on our fingers. By the time we're finished with the showing and conversation, more salt on that counter. That just makes for a different life. This is just midday, basic Honolulu traffic. If you live in Ewa Beach, Waianae, shock us from the broadest. If you live in Ewa Beach, Waianae, something like that, this could be on a bad day, a 2-hour plus commute, but that's if there's an accident or something. Let's take Mililani, for example. You're leaving town, going to Mililani at 4 p.m. I think you average getting home 5:15. You leave here in the heart of town, or Honolulu, we call it town, at 4 p.m. and you live where you live, Kapolei. What are you in store for? 90 minutes, it was a good day. The thing about Hawaii though, I'll be positive. I used to live in the Bay Area. By the time I left the Alameda, Oakland area where I used to commute to Stanford, there wasn't a down traffic time. It used to be traffic was dying by 10 a.m. because I worked a swing shift. I would start at noon. As long as I left by a certain time, it was like good, no traffic. It was just distance that made my commute long. By the time I left, there was no downtime in traffic. By the time traffic died down around lunch, it was picking back up. It's not like that here. Like if you left at 3 p.m. to go to Kapolei or Mililani, you'd actually notice it'd be much better than 4 p.m. If you left at 6 p.m., it will have died down quite a bit compared to a lot of these big mainland cities. There is a saving grace also in the mornings. If you go early in the morning, work out before work, whatever, it's not that bad. Our windows of traffic are smaller, but when you catch the peak, she's peaking. All right, guys, another thing that people don't always talk about when you're talking about selling homes or where to live in Hawaii is the fireworks. Oh, right on cue. Maybe you have dogs and literal bombs going off outside of your house is a real problem. Maybe you have a special needs child. Maybe certain neighborhoods that start with W or certain neighborhoods that start with K. It's just a thing. If I'm being real with you, I'm actually in Pro City. It's kind of a thing in this part of Pro City, but we intended to get to Waipahu. We didn't get there today, so I'm shooting this segment here, but still, around New Year's, that's fine. That's cute. Everyone on New Year's in Hawaii, it's just expected. It's going to be the most magnificent fireworks show on the globe. But just because the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a touchdown or the 49ers won or whatever, you may not always want fireworks going off, but that's just a thing. Also, Dogs. In Hawaii, a lot of people keep their dogs outside because the weather allows it, right? Right now, I'm sure you can hear that on my mic. Me, when I'm thinking about a new home, I specifically want to know, do they leave their dogs outside yapping all day and all night? I love dogs. We just had a little segment on the other video that we were shooting. I love dogs. You don't want to hear that when you're sleeping. Maybe a local family who doesn't sleep with the air conditioning. I'm sitting here looking at something. I'm gonna add another piece to this. Talk carports real quick. Some people call in and they're like, garage is a must. And we'll even get comments from people from the mainland. They're like, I noticed a lot of carports in Hawaii. How come? It was cheaper to build, one, and it's breezy. If you wanna go play poker or hang out in your carport, it's a little breezier than hanging out in a garage, right? A couple of things can come with carport. Tell me now, when you see carport, do you think a higher likelihood that some people are gonna be outside drinking, singing karaoke?
Automatic.
In the carport, right? Like, I don't know what it is about carports, but in a neighborhood that has garages, they tend to be newer neighborhoods. It's just less likely you're gonna have that. So again, noise, nuisances. And then theft. When you have a carport, if you got your snap-on tools out there, expect they're gonna be gone. Hawaii is a place with a weak middle class. You have your people with money, but you have poverty. Theft is a thing. Cars getting broken into, homes getting broken into at times, and when you have a carport, you just don't have that security. It's a bit of a, let's say an invitation, because it's certainly not, right? Like, no means no, but it's a bit of a welcoming scene for a burglar, a criminal to just come in. So that's another thing people may not talk about when they're talking about Hawaii. All right, guys, another thing that most people don't want to highlight, talk about, or just be nuanced about is renting versus buying. Just oversimplifying things. Typically, if you buy, it works out. No matter the holding period and how long it takes to exit and what you bought. One of the things we get around renting a lot is, well, I'm gonna rent for a year first and then I'll buy. It's time in the market, not timing the market. So generally, people who are gonna rent first for any significant duration, they usually don't buy. Now I'm standing here in military housing. So rent versus buy, same conversation. Giving your basic allowance for housing if you're active duty to the housing office and getting military housing is just a fancy way of renting. There are some times where it's appropriate. Principally, those times are you're not gonna be here very long. So if you would have bought, your holding time was reduced. With your debt to income, maybe your debt, you need to work on it. I still think you should try to get qualified, because even if you just learn that, hey, my debt and my finances aren't where they need to be, now you can work on it because you're more educated about your situation. If you can only afford a small, like 30-unit building, but you have 3 kids, now, a lot of people are gonna say, just suck it up, peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and just live in that 1 bedroom with your 3 kids. There's a season for that, you know? Like, I'm with that. That's a first world problem. Living in Hawaii in a 1 bedroom and going to the beach every day is a very first world modern day issue. However, what are the appreciation rates on 30-unit condo buildings versus bigger condo buildings versus private townhome community that might look like this versus single family? They're different plays with different risks. My team might actually coach you to say, hey, I think you better sit this one out. When I say sit this one out, I'm talking about your PCS, your tour here, your 3 years here, your 4 years here. There could be a situation where it's like, hey, sit this one out. For my local people, maybe it's such that right now you don't really have your money up. And although we don't like you sitting out for even a year, there could be a circumstance in which next year is gonna be better, but all in all, you have to eventually get in the market. If you're military and you're not buying here, buy at the next place. When you get stationed back in Virginia, I implore you to buy. Even if you're Hawaii, like me, if you're like me who's, nah, I'm gonna move home. I was in California in the Bay Area, 2007, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna get out, economy's tough, I'm gonna extend a year. 2011, but I'm gonna move back home. 2012, I'm still active duty, didn't buy. I get into a school, 13, 14, I get a job, 15, 16. I should have bought. Imagine Bay Area, California appreciation had I bought in 2008, 9, 10 when homes were on clearance. So if that's a house that's worth something, it's gonna be worth more just because things appreciate, or inflation. Now remember, this is military housing, so work with me. But it could be that it eventually takes more dollars to buy that home. Is that because the area got better, they put in a target, or just because dollars got less valuable? In any case, in an inflating market where dollars are being devalued, you want to own a home. Also, in an appreciating market where Targets and Starbucks are moving in, you also want to own a home because you build wealth that way. It's like a river. The river's flowing, the river's running. Saving and renting because it's cheaper, I get it, I did it for years, but that's like running next to the river. I might even be able to outpace it for a while, but I'm gonna burn out. I can't do it forever. Something's gonna happen. I'm gonna need to take a trip. Dad's gonna need a new hip. I'm gonna need a new vehicle. I just can't save and live that boring and mundane of a life for long enough without building wealth. Whatever happens, that savings rate is gonna get attacked. Wouldn't it be much easier if you jump in the river and let its momentum take you? Now, if you wanna save, pick up a side hustle, work an extra job. That's like rowing and outpacing the river. Now I'm going faster than the river. You have to get in the housing market eventually. You really do. Back to the oversimplified point. It usually works out. And I almost hate it that it usually does, because I prefer a more nuanced, more honest conversation. But it usually, most times, works out, even if you're only holding for 3 years. And you should probably just buy, because you rent for these 3, you rent for 4, you'll probably be renting in 10. And you're gonna regret not buying. Oceanfront living, in my opinion, isn't all it's cracked up to be. I would need to be at a certain point in my wealth journey, again, where I could afford maintenance regularly, on schedule, if monthly at a minimum, 12 times a year. In this location here in Kahala, not so bad. On this island, certain places in Waianae and Ewa Beach, on the northeast side, Punalu'u, Haula, these homes on the North Shore especially, these homes are getting attacked by Mother Earth, by the ocean. These homes have erosion, making it such that certain homes are even falling into the water. There was a famous story, I believe last year, if not last year, the year before. The home was floating in the ocean. These people, you can't even get a permit to put sandbags or to defend your home from the ocean. Because of Hawaii's Department of Planning and Permitting, DPP, and ecological efforts not to disrupt natural shoreline erosion. If you are buying oceanfront, just be intentional and educated about it. If you're on the fringes, I'm gonna challenge you with something just a little bit more in, maybe a slight ocean view, and we can walk down here, come down here every day. Trust me guys, the novelty can wear off, so you may be better off and thank me. Or you may say, Derek, I appreciate the honesty. I really respect that you don't have commission breath and that you would challenge me to even pay less for a home. But we're at a stage in our life. I just beat cancer. I've had that. I have cancer and I'm not gonna beat it. We've had that. Special shout out to my friend Dennis, who isn't with us anymore, who bought a home with us. You may just decide, I still wanna do it. And that's fine too. But we're always gonna be raw and real and educate you before you make that purchase. Let me negotiate this traffic first. Okay, so I have a little story. When I first became an agent, doing a little property management, one of these properties, this lady, I just kind of caught weird vibe. Like I just had a weird vibe. She was too like, it's great, it's perfect, I'll take it, I'll take it. And I was like, this place not that nice. And she, you know, she rolled up looking really nice. She was like, I'll take it, I'll take it. I'm like, are you gonna live here? Like what? She's like, yeah. And then the next time we came to meet her, she intentionally like had a few things from Target and acted like she was moving in, but nothing was moved in yet. And I was like, this seems interesting. Like that, there's something I don't like here. I just think I have a decent BS meter, you know? But the person I worked with at the time, who I was related to, they're like, no, it's fine, it's fine. Come to find out, she was running a massage parlor out of the unit. The neighbors complained, and that's how they got busted, because she would smoke cigarettes outside. This one girl lived there with like one bed. Guys would come over, like just all kinds of different guys. And I think the neighbors had kids, the resident manager, it's actually right down the street here. And they complained, and so we had to evict her. Because there's landlord-tenant laws, right? If we couldn't prove that she was running a massage parlor, she probably could have fought it, whatever. But she was just like, all right, we'll be out. The person I worked with at the time, she went to walk through the unit, and there was a bed, massage oils, a microwave, and her cigarettes, and that's it. And this, you're talking 2-3 months in. So just a crazy Hawaii story, but I sussed it out. I'm a pretty skeptical, cynical guy at times. That's like one of my entrepreneurial edges. I looked at it and I was like, something is off here. And it was really off.